The next person I want to bring up is a young man who me and him went to school together some many years ago. I probably would have made it out of school a lot sooner if I hadn't been copying off his papers. Well, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But he's a good friend of mine. He's a great businessman, great family man, and he's doing remarkable work in the city. Come on up, Mike White. Give Mike White a hand, y'all.
Thank you, James. I appreciate that. I met Judge Shake, and actually it was because of Wade and Alice. I was sitting in my kitchen one day, and I looked in the paper, and they were having an Urban League event this very night that they were being awarded. So I called Ben and asked him if he could find me a seat at the event, because I didn't know that they were being awarded at the annual thing that the Urban League does. And when I got there, Judge and Ann Shake were at the table I was assigned. And mind you, Ben just stuck me wherever he could find me a seat, I guess. And I didn't know if Judge Shake, Jim Shake, had remembered. And when you say Judge Shake, you got to distinguish between Ann and Jim. But he had remembered that I was before the handshake. I was in his chambers one day about one of the residents of our father's house, which is a sober living home for men over here on Jefferson. And I had been in his courtroom previously about the soon-to-be, he didn't know when he was making a judgment on him, that he was going to become the assistant director of our father's house. Now, the guy that I was in his chambers on wasn't a very successful situation, and he had to send him back. But I had 3 different people that the judge had made decisions on. And I was able to talk to him, not in his chambers, but out there in the community, and to let him know that I respected his decision, and that it was a hard decision. You know, and I don't have to mention the court cases or the situations, but in making decisions and thinking about it, he was telling me about him running for election. And I said, what could I do to help you? Big mistake. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I became real willing from that point on to help get Judge Jim Shake into the Supreme Court, because I am in a direct effect. And the men of our father's house, thank you. And then as I looked into it, Ann had made a decision a few years back on another resident of our father's house. So as a result of that, Jim and I and Ann, we've been in communication for days in and days out since then, and become real close. And I had never known either one of them personally before in my life. And I feel like I've known you all. I've been at your home since then, and you all have been in my office several times, and the support that others show for you. Then we got on the phone and called James. I called James to come into a meeting, and when James came, things just started moving even faster. And I'm here to help you, Jim and Ann. I believe in you. I believe in what you stand for. I went on the website to look, not to just assume that you were doing your job. But I went on the website, and then in the process, Reverend Coleman and I have become real good friends, and I've talked to him, and I've gotten his advice, just like with Wade and Alice, and just following people that have been successful in our community. And I called him and I asked him, I said, Reverend Coleman, what do you think of Judge Shake? And he said, no. I said, yeah, Judge. So he said, which judge? Ann or Jim? He says, I know them both. And I said, well, Jim Shake is running for the Supreme Court. He said, oh, yeah, against Abramson. And I said, and you know, he'll repeat himself like that. And I was scared to ask him, because, you know, he can get sort of boisterous there. And then I'll be like, damn, why'd I make this call? And I went back and I called him, but I said, well, he said, Mike, I don't know. I've got to look at the stats. And I've got to go back and talk to a couple of people at the board. Well, he called me back a few hours later, and this is 2 days before Reverend Coleman had passed away. He called me back a few hours later, and I wasn't able to answer my phone, and he left a message on my cell phone. I'm going to try to play this message, you all. And I played it for the Urban League, and it was just amazing. Let's see if I can.
lot, but he's done all good. It's just he done bad, okay? So we lost, we not. We got close to that offense. So push down, like, you know, always call him director, Judge Street, so seven. Thanks, man. Take care.
Now, I don't know if y'all were able to hear that. I don't know. Maybe I should try it again. Okay. Okay. I'm going to tell y'all what he said is, he says, Mike, and if you can't hear it, he said, Mike, yeah, we're going to go and support him over Abramson. He's done more good, you know. And this is how Reverend Coleman is. He says he's done more good. And I've talked to my people, and yeah, we're going to go and support him. And the previous call was like, no, Mike, I can't necessarily do that right now. You know, and I was looking for his support for the judge. And he called back, and he gave us his full support. And I'll be doggone, 2 or 3 days later, and Matty Jones was telling me about the time that he went up there, and he had been a great example for me, because he would be riding around with all those signs piled up in his car about voting. And Jim, I tell you, if we can all roll with the passion that Reverend Coleman had for people to vote and for fairness in our community with the judicial system, then you are the right man for the job. And that's all I've seen in you from the time that I've met you. And I thank the coffee shop. I thank you, James, even though you got me in a lot of trouble in high school. And I thank each and every one of you all for your support as well. And I support you 100%. Thank you all.